Welcome to Episode 2, Pre-Construction Management. In this episode, I want to touch on elements of why the pre-construction phase is so important and why it is the main area where the failure begins. And it's all before any construction has even started. Every great building starts like this, doesn't it? A blank canvas, a space filled with nothing but potential. But you and I know that this is also where the danger begins on any project. Because without a rock-solid foundation, not of concrete, but of a plan with complete data, this dream can quickly become a nightmare. This is where the pre-construction spine building needs to begin. This is where the conclusions of whether you win or lose start to be constructed. Right here, before you even break ground. At KDB Consultants, our framework emphasizes heavily on the importance of a well-structured, documented, and accountability-heavy journey through the pre-construction phase of a project, and we have built our overall management framework on this basis. The pre-construction phase is where the delays in the construction phase actually start. Incomplete information will result in a disrupted construction program. They literally go hand in hand. On too many occasions, flawed design detail falls through the cracks in the feasibility and planning stage of a project. When this happens, the construction teams are literally impeded before they've even started. Getting every important element right before any construction work starts, all with a traceable and digitally documented journey, is the only way to ensure success in project delivery. Without the proper analysis and a complete pre-construction journey, you're not starting with a blueprint, you're starting with a map of future problems. Get in touch with us at kdb.org.uk to see how our pre-construction service can help your project delivery to ensure your success. All too often, we are fighting with the consequences of that flawed blueprint in the construction phase of a project. The unseen obstacle. The piling rig, a monster of steel and power, grinds to a halt. The operator is confused. The foreman is shouting, "What's the problem?" An uncharted utility pipe, running right through the heart of the foundation. It was on a different drawing. It was in a different file. It was a piece of data that was never connected to the master plan. This is what happens when you don't have a pre-construction spine to connect all the data. A single, unactioned flaw has just stopped your multi-million-pound project in its tracks. As with all of our digitally documented services, the KDB Consultants pre-construction service has a live digital management system that is updated in real time by all stakeholders on a project, therefore eliminating the unseen or unactioned occurrences that hamper your project delivery all too often. And so, due to the unactioned flaw, the site falls silent. Your army of workers, your fleet of machinery, all standing idle. And every second of this silence is costing you money. Tens of thousands of pounds, bleeding from your budget every single day. You're standing there, on the edge of your site, a general with no army to command. The frustration is immense. You had a program, you had a plan, but that plan was based on a fantasy. A fantasy where the real world perfectly matches the flawed blueprint. A fantasy that a fully complete pre-construction phase would have shattered in seconds. But this isn't just a delay, it's a crack in the very foundation of the project. Get in touch with us today at kdb.org.uk to schedule a call with us and let us show you how our pre-construction service eradicates these types of failings. This one unactioned flaw in the design creates a ripple effect that spreads through the entire project. The foundations are late, which means the steel frame is late. The frame is late, so the cladding is late. The cladding is late, so the internal fit-out is late. It's a cascade of failure, all triggered by a single avoidable mistake in the pre-construction phase. It reminds me of a hospital project. A single misplaced vent and the entire surgical wing was compromised. A mistake that a digitally connected, managed and integrated pre-construction journey would have caught in a heartbeat. Don't just accept that you have to deal with your project drowning before it's even learned to swim. Get a structured and documented pre-construction phase embedded into how you do things. And what is the cost of this ripple effect? The budget. That carefully calculated, Competitively priced budget you fought so hard to win, now in ruins. The cost of the idle machinery, the cost of the rescheduled trades, the cost of the legal disputes. It's a financial bloodbath, and you're watching your profit margin evaporate in a cloud of red ink. This is the price of a poor start. A price that could have been avoided if a live design program linked to a live deliverables schedule that is linked to a live action tracker and budget cost tracker had been integrated from day one as an integral part of your pre-construction phase, flagging the impact of that first delay in real time. And so the blame game begins. But it's not about finding fault, it's about finding a solution. Get in touch with us at KDB Consultants and see what we can help you implement into your business in the pre-construction phase to stave off these types of project delivery nightmares. The issue rising its ugly head is one thing, but then the call from the client. They're not angry, they're worse. They're disappointed. The confidence they had in you, the trust they placed in your expertise, has been shattered. They're looking at an empty site, a broken promise, and a project that's already failing. And they're wondering if they chose the right partner. In that moment, in their eyes, you're a liability. And the relationship, the most valuable asset on any project, starts to break down. All because the foundation wasn't built on the rock of an adequate and complete pre-construction phase. And then, the stop work order. The final nail in the coffin of a project that was doomed from the start. And this is the abyss. The vast, dark and terrifying space between the plan and the reality. It's an abyss filled with unforeseen costs, unspotted clashes and unknown risks. And you're standing on the edge, looking down, realizing that your entire project is about to fall into it. You feel powerless. You feel blind. Because you are. You didn't have the tools to see into the darkness. You didn't have the connected system to illuminate the path ahead. This is the weight of failure, and it's a heavy burden to bear. But there is a better way. What if you could build the entire project perfectly before you ever broke ground? This is the power of the pre-construction spine and journey. It's a digital rehearsal, where you build the entire project in the virtual world first. The digital twin is created, where you find every clash, every design flaw, and every potential issue, where every risk is identified. That unseen utility pipe? You need a system that finds it and works it through to the solution. It flags the clash. It proposes a new route. The problems need to be solved, months before it could ever become a real-world crisis. This isn't just planning, it's predicting and preventing failure. This is the foundation of a successful project, a foundation of data. Check us out at kdb.org.uk and let us help you build the seamless pre-construction framework that will have your projects starting from the success launchpad you want them to. Our pre-construction service and delivery does more than just find clashes. It integrates all the data, the architect's model, the engineer's calculations, the cost consultant's budget, the supplier's lead times. It all flows into the project's command center, creating a single, unified, and intelligent model of the entire project. The silos are gone. The disconnections are gone. There is only one source of truth. This is the digital twin, a living, breathing, digital replica of your project. The aim for a pre-construction phase is to enable the construction phase. But it has to be a framework that can also react when a change is made to the design, where the cost and program implications are calculated instantly. You want it to be the bedrock for total visibility, total control, before the first operative ever steps on site. And this will be your results. The start of construction. But this time, it's different. The piling rig doesn't hit an unforeseen obstacle. It drives its piles with perfect precision, exactly where the pre-construction detail and data said it should. The site isn't silent. It's a symphony of productive, efficient activity. There are no delays, there are no surprises, because we've already rehearsed this. The scope is clear. The budget and program are true reflections of the clear scope. This is a risk-free start, an outcome that is not left to chance, but is engineered from the very beginning by the pre-construction spine you have implemented into your operations. This is the power of a sufficiently complete pre-construction phase and framework. This is the power of KDB Consultants. And so, the foundation is poured. But this is more than just a slab of concrete. It's a foundation of certainty, a foundation of data, a foundation of trust. The client is not disappointed, they're impressed. The team is not confused, they're confident. And the project is not a gamble, it's a guaranteed success. We didn't just start the project, we started it perfectly. And that perfect start is the foundation for everything that follows. Get in touch with us today to start the revolution of your pre-construction framework. Join us in episode 3 next, where we'll look at how a data-driven approach allows us to conquer the most dangerous part of any project, the tender and cost management.